This is attorney Andy Marcantel and attorney Rachel Moss. We're from the Attorneys for Freedom Law Firm, coming to you from Dallas, Texas, the NRA National Convention, and we got a great guest for you right now on the podcast. We want to introduce you to Christian from Dead Air Silencers. Christian, how you doing today, man?
I'm awesome. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Welcome
Good to meet
to the
you guys.
podcast.
Yeah, thank you.
You guys have an awesome setup. Maybe we'll show some B-roll of it. There's like this beautiful structure you guys have created to sell your awesome products. So.
Yeah, this is a new one. We kind of use this for SHOT Show, but we added the merch side. And yeah, we just want to be flashy and kind of get people's attention. Say, come see us.
Badass, man. It's totally cool.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about Dead Air Silencers, why you got into it, why you like what you do.
Awesome. So Dead Air started 12, 15 years ago. We had pretty much the godfather of silencers who helped start the silent industry, Mike Pappas, one of our owners and founders. He was at another company and he had a vision of some other things. So he started Dead Air. So keeping the roots, grassroots of what we do. So we were very tactical oriented, if you will. So big partners in military and law enforcement, and then also end users like this, just everyday people. But now we're moving into that hunting world too. So being able to do hunting stuff. So a silencer for everyone, you know, every firearm that you have in your home, you can make quieter. I've been here almost 4 years. I'm the national sales manager. I've been in the gun industry a while, so having been there, I saw where I really wanted to go. And I had the opportunity working with a gentleman who is now our president CEO. He pulled me over to Dead Air, and it's just been awesome ever since. So
fantastic.
I have a passion for this stuff now.
Tell us why you're so passionate about it.
I've got an older son, 18. He's going to the Marine Corps in 2 weeks, and then I've got two younger kids.
Congratulations. That's
right?
awesome. Yeah.
Thank you. He saw me come up through, I was in law enforcement in Iraq for many, many years, so he saw me come up in that. So when we're out like shooting or hunting with the kids or the wife, it's like, okay, we're tired of wearing hearing protection. Like, you develop a flinch, right? So using a silencer, there is better shooting fundamentals when you're using a silencer. It's not just about that sound, that, oh, it's that black gun, it's that bad gun. You know, we're going to make it movie quiet so nobody can hear it when you go try to use it on a crime or something. That's not what it's about.
Right.
You know, it's about, for us, it's hunting and shooting where we don't have to have hearing protection on. We're safe. Actually, our silencers, 99.9% of them are quieter than these earmuffs.
Wow.
So
it's pretty impressive. These are noise canceling.
Exactly, right? These are good. I do like these, actually.
Now, Christian, I'd love it if you treated me like I knew nothing about guns. Can you tell me what is a silencer?
Awesome question. So silencer, what it does, it's going to slow down after the bullet exits the gun and the powder and all that, right? You get that charge. Once it comes through the barrel and goes to the silencer slows down that, not the bullet itself, but it slows down the gas in the air and the carbon. Everything slows down behind the bullet, because the bullet's not making the sound at the gun, it's making the crack out in front, right? So everything at the gun is all about the combustion. So what we do is slow that combustion down, and it disperses it a lot slower. That way the sound is a lot more enjoyable, right? So we can kind of compact and slow everything down. So think of a muffler on the car, kind of makes everything quieter, because it wouldn't be if you didn't have a muffler, because that's combustion. So kind of the same idea, but on the end of a gun. Yeah.
Another commonly asked question, what's the difference between a silencer and a suppressor?
I have heard that so many times today.
I figured so.
You know, people use the terms loosely, and so do we. We want to try to silence things even though it's not 100% silence. It's not. We do have one or two silencers, and we call them cans in this industry. We call them cans. So we have one or two silencers that actually are very movie quiet. We've rated them. They're under a pellet gun. They're under a staple gun.
Wow.
The quietness of it. Yeah, the sound. And then others are going to be where you are going to hear them. But suppressor is actually what they are, right? Because they suppress the sound instead of silence the sound. But we still use the silencer name. We use the silencer just because that's what it started out to be. You're going to have people use that term loosely, so it is a suppressor, but we try to silence it as much as we can, and we actually do have them where they're that quiet. So there's still a silencer, but you can use it loosely.
Yeah, you know, we have had many, I guess I kind of want to transfer over to the legal side of it.
Sure.
We're attorneys and we do criminal defense cases, and we see some interesting cases involving people trying to make their own silencers, right?
Oh, yeah.
There was the solvent trap whole thing that happened where people were, selling these products as solvent traps, and people would modify them a little bit, and then the ATF would come and knock, and then they'd be calling us. Yeah, can you kind of explain to the viewers like what kind of certifications, what sort of licenses you have to do? Explain why people can't just start making their own silencers.
Yeah, there's, I guess you could look at it good and bad. So for us as a company, we have to be licensed through the ATF. We have to have an SOT, a manufacturer's license, because it's more stringent. They watch what you do. They actually hold you accountable of the things you make. And it has to be regulated with serial numbers so they can track that just in case things happen, crimes or loss. It's like I was here a few months ago at this convention center and my truck was full of silencers or guns in the parking lot and it got stolen. ATF comes in, they track that stuff. We found it. We got it all back.
Fantastic.
Serialized numbers, right? Yeah, it was fantastic. Thank you to Dallas SWAT. Those guys found all the stuff, but it's serialized so they can track that stuff. And you really, I'm pro 2A all day long. You have to at least have some accountability, right? And that's what it's about. If you go out building your own stuff, you're not accountable in front. You're selling this stuff on the market or friends or family and it blows up, or if it is used in a crime, right? There's got to be some accountability for that. So that's good for what you guys are doing. I mean, y'all are doing a great job. But be careful who you buy a silencer from. Make sure it's for an upstanding company.
And we're even seeing more instances of 3D printed guns and everything like that.
Yes.
Have you seen any instances of people trying to print silencers or anything like that?
Funny question.
Okay.
We actually 3D print cans now. Silencers.
Okay. So
all of our new cans, the Nomad TIs and the Lazarus coming out, are now all 3D printed out of titanium.
Nice.
Again, regulated.
Yeah, of course. You're doing it
But
legally, right?
We're doing it the legal way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have seen some 3D printed, other 3D printed cans and also guns as well. It's just, again, what company's it coming from? Is it a reputable place?
For sure. I think now's a good time to reveal something that we're really excited about.
Yes.
As our attorneys on retainer clients know, we do an annual conference, and we have a 3-day conference planned for this November, and it all ends in a day at the range. We call it the AFF, or Attorneys for Freedom Range Day. And your company has graciously offered to sponsor that event.
Yes, we have. We're excited about that. And what people are going to get, especially from your side, they're actually going to be able to sit down with us in a no-pressure environment, ask questions about the silencer. How do they mount them? Because there's all kinds of questions out there. We could get in the weeds. How does a silencer mount? What's the right one for my gun? What does it sound like? What's it do? Do you clean it? There's all kinds of questions people have, and it's kind of like a 101 class. We really give that information out comfortably where they can understand it. Because look, I'm not an engineer, I'm an end user, right? I don't know everything about everything, but I can give it to the customer like, hey, this is what you need to know. So we're gonna do that, and you're gonna be able to hear those on different weapon systems. So you may have a certain type of gun that you wanna hear or have a question about. We're going to have something close to it that you
That's
can hear.
amazing.
So,
yeah, I love that you can. It's kind of a hands-on thing where they can hear it in real time, the difference between what your product provides and without the product. That's awesome. I love that.
And that's such a great opportunity, because I think especially for like newer gun owners, when you're getting into it, it can be overwhelming thinking through all the different decisions on what you can get with your gun. And I think a lot of people have questions about silencers. What would you say to, potentially a new gun owner who is looking into it? What are the pros of getting a silencer?
Awesome question. So kind of going back to why I started in this side of it, new shooters. Your fundamentals when you shoot suppressed are going to be way different. It's going to be way better. You don't have the loud boom. You don't have angry neighbors. You don't.
That's
have,
a plus.
It's a big plus. You don't have the recoil. 40 to 50% of your recoil is taken out of the weapon like that. So if you have large calibers or even handguns that, young shooters, small shooters, females, new shooters that just have they don't know about the fundamentals of shooting, they will have way more fun. Biggest thing is going to be the sound on the recoil, especially starting new shooters and hunters into it. That's really huge. So they get a lot of benefit out of off the top shooting suppressed that they wouldn't if they didn't.
And let me ask you this, and be as neutral as it can, given that you work for a silencers company.
Sure.
Is there any meaningful effect on the performance of a firearm due to attaching a silencer, using a silencer?
We get that question a lot, actually.
I'm sure.
So there's a misconception of the silencer actually slowing down the actual round coming out of the bullet coming out of the gun. And that's not true. It actually can speed it 5 to 8 feet per second, which is not a lot, but it doesn't slow it down. They're like, well, it's slowing down because it's not as loud. I get that, but that's the gas and the air slapping that you're hearing. The bullet actually is going slightly faster on some things. It won't slow down. But some firearms will actually function differently because of that back pressure that it creates. So it could be a little gassy. It could get a little dirtier depending on your ammo choice, whatever ammo you pick. If you're shooting cheap ammo that's got a nasty powder in it, you know, you're going to see that in your other rounds or in your action of your gun. Clean it just, you know, as the same as your gun if you want to. But there's going to be a little bit different performance in different types of setups, like your ARs, your pistols. They will perform a little differently. Bolt guns, not necessarily anything, really.
All right, fair enough.
So I feel like a little bit of a stigma sometimes around silencers. A lot of people say criminals will want them. You know, it will help them get away with a crime, you know, if it's silenced. What would you say to people that kind of have that attitude about silencers?
We've been asked that too, and I like talking to those people. It's like, come to a range day. Mm-hmm. You still hear it. It is not, you know, 99.9% of these silencers, let's say a criminal would use would be on certain types of weapons. And look, I come from that law enforcement world. I've investigated that. It's not going to be the silencers that you would think would be movie quiet. You can still hear them, but they're not going to go through that process. They cannot gain those silencers without going through a process, right? Because you still have to do an ATF form. You still have to do a 4473. You have to fill out everything. If you will, it's tracked, right? People say, I don't want ATF tracking me. Well, that's one of those things. They're going to know who has a silencer because you have to pay the ATF tax stamp of $200. So they're not going to go through that background check. There is probably a 0.01% of crimes committed in the U.S. with a silencer. Out of any other crime.
That's a good point. I don't actually know the statistics on that. So there's statistics out there that show it's very low, I imagine.
Very low.
I mean, how many, Rachel, we've done hundreds of gun cases. How many involve silencers? Maybe a handful of them? Like, this is a total false stigma in my view, too.
It is, and it's you know what drives that? What's cinema.
That? Oh, yeah.
That's it.
It's the
movies. Yeah. That's it. That's all it is.
Yeah, before James Bond, he screws it on before he... Yeah, well, people can come to our range day and get educated about the actual reality and pros of silencers. You guys can also hang out with us and hang out with Christian. He's an awesome dude. Learn all about his product. Christian, we wanted to end by just allowing you to plug your company and some websites, social media, whatever you want to plug, my friend. It's all yours.
Yeah, if you got questions, come see us at NRA. What was the date and where at for your? Do you remember where y'all's? I know November, right? November. Okay.
November.
We'll get back to you.
No, by the time we release this video, we'll release the dates right there.
Yes, I couldn't remember the date. We'll have people there, but also November 10th.
November 10th. So November 8th and 9th, 2024 is the conference, and then the range day will be on November 10th.
I'm excited.
You go.
Yeah, it's going to be
We
so
are
fun.
too. And look, you can look us up, deadairsilencers.com. We have a great website. We've got new merch there if you want to buy stuff, or if you just have questions, reach out to my customer service people, info@deadairsilencers.com, and they will answer your questions. If you are a first-time user, we just started this. Open it up with questions so we can walk you through the process. Like, we will hold your hand through the process.
That's so awesome. All right, guys, one more perk for you to show up to the conference. Until next time, this has been Attorney Andy Marcantel and Attorney Rachel Moss from the Attorneys for Freedom. Check out attorneysonretainer.us to learn all about our self-defense program and what it can do for you. Also, check out attorneysforfreedom.com to learn all about our law firm and our philosophy and how we defend people accused of crimes. And if you like the video, make sure to throw a like on it, shoot us a comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. Christian, you're an awesome dude. Thanks for being on the podcast, brother.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, guys, until next time, peace.